we come now to the search option that will allow us to look for verses in the Bible. Now, this is fairly simple and easy to use. All you do is you type in here several words that will help you to identify a verse that you're looking for. And then there are two ways to look for this. You can look for verses that contain all the words, but they don't have to be all together. But if you want all the words, like in a phrase, to be in a verse, then you select this option here, exact phrase. Okay? So if we take all words here, we can just put a couple of words from a verse that we can remember. Okay, so how about by his stripes you were healed? Whereabout is that? So let's look up stripes and healed. Here it is, Isaiah 53 verse 5. He was wounded for our transgression, he was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace is upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. Now I know for a fact that there is a similar scripture also in the New Testament, but I'm not sure if it uses those exact things. Why then did was that one not found? The chances are because you're looking and searching under the GBM version, and I've probably retranslated it. Most people, the verses that they've remembered probably come from the King James Version. So let's switch to King James Version and try that search again. And you see we now have two verses. We have Isaiah 53 and the one also that's in 1 Peter 2 verse 24, which says, by whose stripes ye were healed. Now if you want to go to that verse, you click on it and you'll see that here it shows the King James Version. If we go now to the GBM version, you'll see why I didn't find it, because it's a bit different. It says, who all by himself took our sins in his own body on the tree, that we being dead to sins could be alive to righteousness, by whose wounds you were healed. So remember, when you're doing a search, it's going to search according to the version that you're using. So most of the time you should perhaps take the King James Version first to try and find the verse you're looking for. Okay, let's try another one. Let's try the old favorite verse, which is John 3:16. For God so loved the world. So let's type God loved and world. And isn't that interesting? We have a few more here. We have John 3:16, God so loved the world. But now we have other ones that come up, because unfortunately when we're doing this kind of search, it also picks up parts of words. So here James says, hearken my beloved, hath not God chosen the poor of this world? So it's not quite the same thing, see? Okay. How do we get around that? Let's try the other search option here, the exact one. And we know that that says, God so loved the world. And there it is. John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. And here's another one in 1 John 4:11, beloved, if God so loved us. So if you know at least 2 or 3 words that are together in the text, rather choose that exact option rather than the other option for all words. And you've got a far better chance of finding it. Play around with this, see what's the best. Remember, when you put the words in, your words must all be in separated by spaces. Okay, so here's one I'm looking for here, faith, hope, and love. Okay, and here we have 1 Thessalonians 3, remembering your work of faith, labor of love, and patience of hope. Okay, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and helmet, the hope of salvation. So there were 2 verses there in the King James. If we go now to the GBM version, and we do a search for faith, hope, and love, we may find a slightly different selection. We find, yeah, and now there continues to exist faith, hope, love. See, the King James Version actually seldom used the word love. Most of the time it used the word charity to describe what we call agape love. So if you search for the word charity now under the King James Version, you'll see, make sure that you do not carry out acts of charity before men. Let's try looking for faith and charity. And there we get quite a lot. Especially this one here. Now abideth faith, hope, charity, but the greatest of these is charity. See, now if we look in the newer version, of course, it's going to use the word love rather than charity. So if we go here, it says, but there continues to exist faith, hope, agape love. These three, but the greatest of these is agape love. So you can find any verse, as long as you can remember preferably at least two words in that verse, the chances are you'll be able to find it once you search for it. Just find the verse that you're looking for, okay? Click the link, it'll take you to that verse, and then you can have a read. So that's our search capability. Next, we're going to go look at the use of Strong's, and this is a very big and powerful utility in this system. It's especially for those who like to study the Bible a little bit deeper, and this allows you to look behind the original languages of the Bible, like the Greek and the Hebrew, without having to be a Hebrew or a Greek scholar. You'll be amazed what you can see, and I will spend a bit of time on this one showing you how you can study the Bible in far more detail. This utility is what I am using most of the time to actually produce the new GBM translation of the Bible, and there's enough information there to enable me to do that. So I look forward to showing you that in the next video.